Hello guys, this is UniversalGiant and welcome back for more of Let's Play Pokémon SoulSilver. Last time, we caught ourselves Mewtwo in the deep depths of the Cerulean Cave. And today, I'm going to be showing off a bunch of places that you can find Pokémon from the foreign regions, Hoenn and Sinnoh. First, the place that you can find them that I won't be showing off again, because we've already seen it, the bug catching contest. If you remember, there are 3 days during the week that you can take part in the bug catching contest at the National Park. One of those days, they'll have the same Pokemon that they did last time. One of those days, they'll have bug types from the Hoenn region, and another day they'll have from the Sinnoh region. I'll put on the bottom of the screen which days those are, because I don't remember off the top of my head. But you've seen the bug catching contest before, so there's no reason for me to explain it now. Next, swarms. Of course, none of these will appear if you don't already have the National Pokédex, which you get from Professor Oak before the SS Aqua. But every day, Marion Oak will explain that there's a swarm of Pokemon from a foreign region at a particular route or location. In this case, Swablu on Route 45, and conveniently, I'm already in Blackthorn City. So, if we head here while there is Swablu swarming, we could potentially run into one. And right off the bat, there it is, the normal flying type that evolves into the dragon flying type Altaria, and I'll probably off-screen catching one because it's so adorable and I used one in Emerald and loved it. But you don't need to sit through that. And I even named it Huff and Puff. And the swarms are also how I got myself a Ralts in Heart Gold. But the next one I want to show off, if I remember where it is... Actually, I want to head over to the Safari Zone, not for the next thing, but because one of the things that I want to show off is on the route just south of it. And I hope I'm getting the names of I hope I'm getting the dates right. I think it's on Tuesday that you can hear the Hoenn sound, and on Thursdays you can play the Sinnoh sound. Now you access both of those through the radio by listening to Ben's channel, the Pokemon music. Oh, these are fond memories as well. And I believe on this route is one that I kinda wanted to show off. Hopefully he makes himself known. Well, there's the one I didn't necessarily want to show off, but Shinx, the electric type from the Sinnoh region. Cute, adorable, and one I used in Diamond. Really strange to have a physical type electric, but he can be useful. I was hoping to show off Weasel, but I guess you have to surf for one. Now, you can play the Hoenn sound or the Sinnoh sound in just about any location where you can catch wild Pokemon. I don't remember off the top of my head all of them, nor do I think it's worthwhile to list them all just in the video, but I'll provide a link to where you can find that kind of information if you're interested in it. The one that I am most interested in, however, is the Safari Zone itself. Now, if you remember, every 3 hours or so after we completed the Johto region, Balba gave us a call to talk about objects. And all of this stuff, I think would be easier for me to explain just by showing you what I did off-screen here. Essentially, objects allow you to access Pokemon from the foreign regions that you wouldn't have access to otherwise here in the Safari Zone. And setting some of these up not only takes quite a bit of time, some of them upwards of 3 months, minimum, but they're pretty complicated as well if you don't have a guide for them. Good luck figuring them out on your own, but I'll include a link to the best guide I found on the video description as well. Up here I set up some mountain objects. I believe this was the mountain? So I set up 28 peak objects up here, and what you do is, if you have an open space in front of you, you can press A, and you can place an object here. Now, the longer these objects have been here, the more likely you are to attract a particular Pokemon. You have to have... It doesn't matter what object it is, but where the object is in terms of its classification, rocky areas, water areas, those kinds of things, those are important. So for instance, all the items I have in this particular section are rock, so hopefully we'll be able to run into Lunatone is not the one that I was looking for, but why the hell not? I mean, just because it isn't the one that I was particularly hoping for doesn't mean it's not going to show up. And we got ourselves a Lunatone. Now to go after the thing that I was actually going after! There it is, Metang! Leave 28 peak objects in the mountain region for 30 days, and you could potentially run into this thing. Now, it has a catch rate as low as most legendaries, which means I'm probably not going to catch it. But it's cool to know that you can actually find one in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And because my emulator is prone to crash if we stay here too long, I'm going to be retiring after each one of these things, just so I can save my progress. The next area I wanted to show off is up to the north. And these are the Wetlands. Now in here I placed, let me make sure of this, I believe I placed 21 peak objects and left them here for at least 70 days. So let's see if I can run into that thing I'm hoping to. Shelgon, dragon type from the Hoenn games, evolves into Salamence. Now, I think you'll notice a running theme with all the things that I'm trying to run into here. They're very difficult to catch. So the likelihood of me actually successfully catching one of these things isn't that high, but I figure they're the ones that people are most interested in. Even though the Safari Zone is probably the least reliable place for you to catch one of these things if you really, really want one. I mean, you're better off catching them in another game and training it over if you have the opportunity. But you can actually catch them here. The next one I want to show off, I believe I set up in the northeast corner. Which should be, if my memory serves me, the meadow. Indeed it is. In here I placed 10 forest objects and 14 rock objects for 70 days, the same length of time I did for Shelgon. And doing that will allow you to access Riolu, the fighting type from the Sinnoh games that evolves into Lucario, Steel Fighting type. Really versatile, it can be both a physical attacker and a special attacker, and if you've played Black 2, White 2, you probably know just how broken he can be. The last one I wanted to show off, I have set up in the corner just to the south, the Rocky Beach, and this was the one that took the most time to set up. You need... I'm not sure exactly which objects you needed. You needed... I have listed 13 plains objects and 17 rock objects. And you need to leave them here for 3 months and 10 days, 100 days before you can access this thing. No, it's not Electrike, but Electrike is kind of cool too. I've already explained how I had a lot of fun using Manectric and Emerald. So if I could catch one of these things, so much the cooler. I guess not. The one I'm really interested in is the Dragon Ground type Gible from the 4th generation, and by God is its evolution annoying to deal with the champion of the Sinnoh games. Don't get me started. So that's all the Pokemon in the Safari Zone that I wanted to show off explicitly. But I've really only scratched the surface of the Hoenn and Sinnoh Pokemon that you can run into just either from the Safari Zone, Hoenn and Sinnoh Sound, the bug catching contest, or the swarms. And really it allows you so much freedom in terms of setting up your team for the end game. If you want to come up with a team of Pokemon that are from completely foreign regions and face the Elite Four with them, you have the freedom to do it, and I think it's really nice that they were able to do it here in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I just wish they made it a little more accessible, especially with some of the cool things you can find in the Safari Zone, but then again, there's a bit of a charm to having to know a little more about Pokemon than you should in order to make full use of all of your resources here. But that's going to do it for everything that I wanted to show off before we take on the Elite Four one last time. So, this is UniversalGiant, and in the next video, we'll be challenging the Elite Four one more time. I've got a good bit of grinding ahead of me, don't I? See you then.